if I come to my story, I was born in a small town called Hathras, which was under district Aligarh at that point of time. Now, a few years back, Hathras itself has become district. But my early upbringing was in an academically oriented family, with my father serving as a vice principal of a college. This environment fostered a love for reading newspapers, books, magazines, and a passion for sports. My father was an avid tennis player and he ran a tennis club in the town during the 1960s. And as a matter of because of the presence of that club, many eminent personalities used to visit that club to play the tennis. And in the my childhood, we had interacted those very eminent personality, and that has a profound impact on my early development. And during my formative years, I frequently used to tune to radios because radios were the only source for getting the information at that point of time because TVs were not there. And we used to tune to BBC, Voice of America, many agencies, and from you also used to hear news about the ISRO because ISRO was also during the formation in that year. A lot of things were happening in the space arena, and that time I used to think I was very curious to know about the scientists. What set them apart from the normal human beings? How the scientists look like? Are they same? What or they are different? Or they are just an ordinary person like us? So there was a curiosity inside me to know more about the scientists and how differently they work. And so I pursued my education, particularly in college, and developed a fascination for the chemistry because of the simple reason, particularly the organic chemistry, because it is very easy to follow because it was made up of the rules, the predictable rules and patterns governing the chemistry kept me engaging in this subject. This fascination eventually led me to pursue my master's in the chemistry degree in organic chemistry. Subsequently, when I gained admission at IRI, I was able to apply my knowledge in organic chemistry in the field of agrochemicals. So at IRI, I learned about how to apply chemistry in the field of agriculture and food for the betterment of the society. So at that time, soil science agrochemicals used to be a single combined subject, or it was referred as SSAC, and there was only one available seat for agrochemicals. And for that single seat was a challenging but rewarding experience that ultimately shaped my academic journey. So, this is all about my uh, upbringing so far. I remember meeting one important personality who came from was a like governor of the at that time called the Agra region, and then he asked me like because I was his child at that point of time. So he asked me, "Beta, what do you want to become? What do you want to become as a few? What is your future plan? Do you know what you want to become?" Or and that time I was just thought what he's asking about. Like I was like I didn't know like what the future is all about. I thought the small world is my future. So I just said that yes, I want to like become a principal of a college, just like my father. Then he said, okay. So as a principal, what you would like to do? What you'd like to contribute to the society? And that time, it just struck me that it's not only the getting the education and serving as a principal, but you also need to serve to the society. And that's how this whole thing started coming in my mind. What's the one thing which I can do to change my society? What's one thing which I can uh, so that is the point which has gave me this thinking, no, I have to do something for my society. I don't have to only get educated, but get educated in a manner by which I can impact the society. So that was very impactful experience which I had. Another thing which I would like just tell you, my experience from the magazines. Like we used to get these magazines, like children magazines. There was magazine, and in one of the magazines, there was a travelogue. So one of the writer has written about the culture in Japan, like how what is the culture in Japan, and how they keep their city clean. And in that, he mentioned that they carry one small bag in their neck. So the whatever the garbage they have, they just put inside that bag, and when they come back and they put in the dustbin. So as a child, I started doing, like, practicing that. Like I started putting bag in my leg and started putting all the garbage which I generated during the daytime in that bag and putting back in the dustbin. So that's how the things influence, no, in the childhood. Childhood influences are the lifelong influencer. So if you give the good things to the children at right thing, good right atmosphere, I think that carries over the lifelong. Like, yes, my father was a very God fearing person. He always said that whatever you do, you should not harm to anybody. You should not harm, like, and be truthful to yourself. So honesty is one thing which he inculcated very much in all the children. And secondly, he said that one should be like faithful to the institution, not to the personalities. So institution is bigger than the personalities. So be faithful to your institution wherever you are serving, not to the persons. Persons may come and may go, but institutions are going to remain there forever. So that's the thing which, and then self respect is one thing which he taught us very much, that you should live in a, you should do all your act should be in a manner. We should not only put your self respect at the forefront, but at the same time it should not, the country should also be at the top. Like your action should not give any bad name to the country, or bad name to the family, or bad name to the city to which you belong, to the society where you belong to.
You.
uh, I think everybody would agree that mother is a influencer. Like this first influence is your mother. You observe your mother. So I would say that we were a big family, uh, seven brothers and sisters. I was the youngest, so I was very pampered once. So everybody used to, like, whatever demand I had, I used to get that demand fulfilled by some mean or the other means. So that way, I would say I was very fortunate to have that big family, and being the youngest was very fortunate part of me, because I used to observe each and every brother and sister, and it was an easier path for me, because whatever they learned, I learned it just by observing them. So because and since in my town there was no higher education facility in science particularly, so all my brothers and sisters, they moved out of the city for higher education. So like for example, my eldest brother, he did his engineering from BHU. My sister also went to BHU for higher studies. So we used to go to meet them to Varanasi, and we were exposed to those kind of institution at early stage. So that has also influenced, like seeing the greater institutions, how they work, and how the things happen over there, and the meeting their faculties in BHU, that also has shaped, that also has influenced our life. Apart from that, my mother was a very dedicated person, very sincere, very hardworking. And one thing which I learned from my mother is that never give up, whatever may come, but never, one should never give up. And then Hard work always pays. That's what she taught me that बेटा कुछ भी हो लेकिन हार्ड वर्क करने से रुकना नहीं बेटा कुछ भी आ जाए but never give up, keep doing your best, and I think you will be rewarded one day. So that's what she taught me, and that's what I'm carrying, still I'm carrying, irrespective of the what reward. I still work day and night, just and following my passion. Oh, chemistry, actually, I used the point when I was in 12th standard actually. So the chemistry was divided into three streams, no, inorganic, organic, the and physical chemistry. So when I used to learn about the organic chemistry, I was very much fascinated with the organic chemistry because the simple thing, everything was a rule-based system. Organic chemistry is a very rule-based system, very easy to learn and follow the rules. You can predict the equation, you can predict the product, but if you know what kind of reagent you are using, what kind of reaction is going to happen, and what kind of product you are going to get at the end. So that really fascinated me. This is the science which you are able to follow. There's a science which you can, by which you can like think and manipulate the molecules also. You can synthesize the molecules uh, depending upon whatever you do, and it is also, and it is natural actually. Organic chemistry is a natural chemistry. It is produced in the nature. See, biosynthetic pathways, when we learned about the biosynthetic pathway, that really fascinated me. Like how the complex molecules are manufactured by the nature, such as complex molecules, and not just by having the photosynthesis energy by means of the photosynthesis. If human beings have to create the same molecule, they have to pollute the environment so much. Like in the manufacturing facility in the factory, you have to pollute the environment to produce same amount of same big molecule, whereas the plants are synthesizing within them without harming the environment, rather cleaning the environment by taking the CO2 and giving out those molecules. So that's what has fascinated me right from the beginning. Like what are the different, and how they serve as a medicine, how they serve as a food, and such complex formation. So that is how I developed the passion. And later on, when went for the higher education, and all the bright students used to take the chemistry. So that also came as a like second thing. So I also opted for the chemistry as my first choice for my masters, and that's how I kept uh, developing passion for. An ultimate passion I developed at IRI when I saw these equipments, no, during my PhD time, when I was exposed to this chromatographic equipments like these gas chromatography, high performance liquid chromatography, I got so fascinated by those equipments. Like you can do so much by using these equipments, and you can explore the entire world within yourself. You can know what is your chemical composition. So that's how I got attracted by the chemistry. Yeah. Yes, my education was in agrochemicals. So I was supposed to be serving the agriculture institute, but due to some reasons, there was no vacancy in the ARS for about 5 years. So I had to look for the job outside ARS system, outside the ICR system. So then I got that wonderful opportunity to in at Terry. So I was recruited. I joined Terry, and it gave me an entirely different exposure, altogether different exposure. And at that time I started thinking about how to do the screening of the chemistry of this agrochemical of the pesticides. Can we look for the alternative for the pesticides which are safer for human consumption, which are safer for environment, which are safer for farmers, which are safer for the world, and using my chemistry background. So I used my agrochemical chemistry knowledge from the IRI and my natural product chemistry from my master's, and I combined the two together and started working on this biopesticide development. So during 1990s, when I joined my services, there was a lot of problem with the farming community For the cotton farmers used to commit suicide because of the this cotton bollworm problem. You must have heard in Nagpur many cotton farmers have committed suicide because of they were not able to control this particular bollworm. So, by getting influenced by that problem, I started working on developing the alternatives, greener molecule for control of that cotton bollworm, with the support from the funding support from the Department of Biotechnology. And I successfully developed a biopesticide by using the eucalyptus leaf extract and and then for management of the bollworm. And this technology was transferred to the companies, different companies. And I'm really thankful to the Department of Biotechnology for continuously supporting me with the funding for about 10 years to get this small by small lab finding into converting that into a technology. And that's how my whole journey started with the agrochemicals. And so far, I have developed five natural biopesticides, and which have been given to the companies and are being used by the farmers.
Created.
Uh, they have been like, as I said, currently I'm using my work in three dimensions. One is, as I said, the greening the chemistry of the biopesticide. Like, so with the help of the biopesticide, the farmers are able to reduce their what you call reliance on the pesticide, chemical pesticides. So in the vegetable, particularly the vegetable farmers, they normally give 20 to 30 sprays of the pesticides during this the entire crop period. But with the help of the integrated pest management modules, which we developed by including those biopesticide in those modules, we reduce those sprays from 16 to 3 to 4. Only minimal wherever there's a need-based use of the pesticides. We included pheromone traps, we included botanicals, we included microbials, seed treatment, biopriming, and so on. So the entire package and practices have been given to the village in 15 villages of the UP, uh, Andhra Pradesh, and Karnataka. And though we taught the farmers, so now those technologies have been adopted by the farmers. So what we are getting, so we reduce the usage of the pesticide reduction up to 70% pesticide reduction. That's a direct impact on the farmer's income and farmer and the environment. Second is the produce which the farmers was getting out of this IPM because of the use of this pseudomonas as a seed treatment. The produce quality is much better. The shelf life of the produce is much better. They can keep that, and they in the market the farmers are getting double the price than the normal produced uh, by the produce which you are getting from their own practices is fetching lesser price as compared to the one which was produced with the help of the IPM, just because of the quality of the final produce. So it's enhancing the income of the farmer, which is, and you are also getting the safe food for your consumption. So safer food, protection of the environment, and enhancement of the farmers. These are the three things. So consumer is benefited, the user is benefited, and the environment is benefited directly or directly. So these are the impact of this biopesticide uses.
That's lovely.
Being in science is always challenging. It doesn't always work the way you think. Sometimes the science of when you are doing experiments, sometimes you succeed, sometimes you fail also. But one has to learn from the failures and then move on in this direction. But I would say that I have remained very fortunate right from my childhood that I was born in a family which was very supportive of the education. So I got this all support from my family, and I was also fortunate to get a second family after my marriage who was also very supportive to me. My in-laws has given a lot of support to me, and they always put the education first, job first, and family second. So that's kind of atmosphere. So I was fortunate at that front. From the family front, I never had any problem. But yes, when you are at professional fronts, there were some challenges like getting the fund for getting the projects, because how will you do the research unless you don't have the fund? Without the fund you cannot do the research. And for getting the funds you have to compete in the open. You have to get the competitive grants. So getting the competitive grants has always remained a challenge. But I would say I have remained for like fortunate here also. So far I've got 50 grants, and out of that 18 have been international grants. So and all have been completed successfully. So I would say God has favored me so far, except for few lows. That happens in everybody's life. Lows in terms of like in terms of your health, in terms of your something like that. But otherwise, I've remained very fortunate that I've been able to fought all the lows successfully without any problem. I have worked till night in the office also, at some point of time, but I never this thought never came to my mind that I'm a woman and I must go back early home. Never ever this has occurred in my to me. And while traveling also, this has never occurred to me. I have traveled across the globe, in various situations, in fields. I worked in the fields. I worked with the farming community. I worked in all across arena. But this thought never came to me that I'm a woman, so I must go home back. So I must take certain extra precautions, something like that. I do not know why, but this thought never came to my mind. And no, neither I faced any discrimination anywhere. So I would say I was very fortunate. Maybe it is my belief which supported me throughout my life, and maybe that's a basic upbringing from where you have brought up, that has like developed that kind of belief inside me that nothing will happen, because if you are pure in your heart, if you are not doing anything wrong, nothing will happen wrong. No wrong things will happen to you. So this was my inner conviction which has supported me. Success and failure are very relative terms, I would say. For everybody the success is different. For me the success was a different connotation. Like for me the success means if I have attempted something, uh, what I would say, uh, with from my heart, if I attempted something, and even if the things are not happening the way you want, but you have put in your best foot forward, I'm a successful woman. Though from the society point of view I may not have like, attained the results which were expected, but I do not care about the outcome. I always care about my inputs, what best my efforts. My my effort should not I should not, at the end I should not say that okay, if I would have done like that I would have been more successful, or something like that. If I put in more hours at that point of time I would have like achieved that, or something like that. Your efforts always should be 100%. If your efforts are 100% always, then there will be no regrets. If there are no regrets, then I don't think there's a failure, any failure. Though in terms of the society, something might have succeeded, something might have failed. But from my side, since I have put in my 100%, uh, and I have not put in my 80% or 90%, so I consider myself as a successful in my all my efforts. Uh, Failure means that if you planned something and you're not able to achieve that, even despite your best efforts, that I would say is a failure. Uh, but again, as I said, one should not get carried away by these failures. One should move forward, learning from those failures. What went wrong, what, and doing the root cause analysis, and do not repeat those mistakes which you have already committed because of this thing. So, and these things, because in society you have all kind of people, Okay, you have all kind of atmosphere. So something or other thing will not happen the way you want. But for that matter, you should not like stop your journey then and there itself. You should keep moving forward, learning from whatever uh, you have observed in the past year. So if I talk about a turning point in my life, I was very excited when my first technology was like taken up by the DBT. I received a call from Dr. Renu Suru from DBT that your technology has been selected for the coffee table book. There was a big international conference, and only selected technologies were taken for display on the date coffee table book. And I was very, very excited to listen to that. Yes, my technology has been selected for the coffee table book for that international conference. I was very, very delighted. And then when the technology was like tech transfer was happening in front of the this minister of then minister of Dr. Sibal, then Minister of Science and Technology. My technology was transferred, and that gave me a sense of achievement. Okay, now this is what I wanted, and this is what I have achieved. And when this news coverage came in different but the PTI press release came, that was the turning point when I decided, no, I have to do more for the society. This is just the beginning, and I committed myself to do more for the society because that gave me the sense of secure achievement, and that was the beginning of the career. And then I decided, no, I can do, and I have to do more for the society. Now, another milestone which I kept for myself is to serve my motherland where I was born. I must do something about that also. So that's something which is now haunting me. That though I have done a lot of things for the society, but I have never back to my motherland. So I must go back and do something, serve my motherland also, where I was born, and do something for the society to which I belong, from where I have come to this place. So this is what is my future plan that I must not future plan. I have started already working towards that plan, and I will try to see solve the local problems of my hometown where my upbringing happened. So as a part of as a societal commitment, and then passing on the information whatever I have to the younger generation, whatever I have learned, whatever I have gained over the period of time. So passing that information to the younger generation would be is my priority, and I will do that by converting all my knowledge into kind of books or kind of video series or kind of YouTube channels, and and all those kind of things, like simplifying the life of the younger generation from my own learnings. I really have to think about it. Lesson learned from my journey. Uh, I would say that I would say that coming to lesson learned is that we should use the science to understand the mother nature, but not use the science to conquer the nature. If we try to, if I start conquering the nature, that's not good for the planet. Use the science for the betterment of the nature, not to conquer it. I would say only this much.
I think that
For the young girls, I would say don't be afraid of your that you are girls, so you can't do this. Everything is possible. You can do everything, but just put your 100%. If you give your 100%, you will be successful one day. Don't get afraid of you. Somebody is telling that you are a woman, you cannot do this. Don't listen to that thing. Be convict. You first convince yourself. If you are convinced, the world will be convinced one day. I would say sustainability is nothing but uh, we must embrace nature's wisdom, share knowledge, light, uplift communities, and pave the way for more inclusive, equal, and sustainable world. This will bring more sustainability in our planet, in our living, and everything. And nature has given everything to us. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. Only thing is we have to explore it. Explore the nature, and you will get it. For living sustainability, first of all, go back to your roots. Use the traditional knowledge. So I use a lot of traditional knowledge for becoming sustainable. Like, for example, I still take use a cloth bag for carrying the things. I don't use the plastic. As less plastic as possible. Food, go to the eat food by thinking how much, from where it is coming, how much it is coming, how much you need, and whether it's really produced sustainably or not sustainably. Like local foods, one should prefer food those are grown locally, not flew by the flight or by the aircraft or something like that. Local food, and particularly the food which are consume less water, like for example millets. They're climate resilient, they'll use less water and do not pose any threat to the mother nature. So, and coming to this uh, other aspects, you look around and you will get the solution from the nature. As I said, one should look for the from natural, as far as possible. Use natural things, so that you will not become the unsustainable. Uh, so for sustainability, depending on the nature is very important. Natural things, and use natural things as far as possible. Again, I say as far as possible. Not 100%. It's not possible to have 100% natural things, but as far as possible, minimize the use of the unnatural things. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Nutan.
No, just one more thing which I have in my mind is promoting the agrotourism, particularly in the kids who are small, who do not know from where the food is coming, how the feed is coming, what are different, how the plant looks like, how the food looks like, how it grows. So, kind of agrotourism, promotion of the agrotourism at farmers' town, so that it gives the sense people come to know, uh, particularly the younger kids, and they get to know how the food grows and how it looks like when it comes before, because they have seen only the plates. They're not seen the food, how it is cultivated, how if they pluck it directly from the farm and cook it there itself, it will give a different sense of uh, what you call mm, identity to them. Yes, because if you really see, the kids say pili dal, yellow dal khana hai humko, yellow dal. They do not know what is yellow dal is coming from. The black dal, what is the name of the black dal and where it is coming from? And what are the problems in growing those yellow dal or black dal, whatever they call it, the sabji, the bindi, and whatever they call their favorite vegetables? They do not know what are the problems in growing them, and how much chemicals are being used, and how the farmers is growing them, what difficulties farmers having in growing them. So that exposure I want to give to the particularly to the younger generation. Motivation. I think the work motivates me. So if there's more work, more motivation.
kind of technologies and
Yes. So that's like I see that there are many more things to do to make this planet healthier. One life is not enough. So so
all
that's how I see this. That one life is not enough to do achieve all the targets to make this planet healthier. So that keeps me motivating. So whatever I can do in this life, I should do that.
I think that
For self care, I really have to think about it because I hardly think about myself. Gardening I love, but I don't have that much of time to go for the gardening. Yes, but whenever possible. So that craving, I compromise. I would say I compliment whenever I go to the farmer's field and I see the plantings. So going to the village gives me an entirely different experience. So whatever I am not able to do in the city, I get compensated by going to the villages and visiting the farmer's field here. Life mantra is love nature and be natural. One of the things which I would like to quote here is which I came to know after joining Amity is one of the quote which our honorable founder president always says, and I really feel that that's a very apt quote. And he says that God pushes uh, somebody, no power in the world can stop that person from attaining the desirable results. And another things he has said is mantra which has given is the bhag, BHAG bhag, B for behavior, H for hard work, A for attitude, and G for God. If all these factors are with you, nobody can stop you to conquer the world. So if your behavior, attitude, and luck and God is with you, and if you're hardworking, even if you are an ordinary person, you can do wonders.